The Lover's Pentacle 1, Chapter 7, Four of Swords. Karina returned to her house in order to shower and eat breakfast. Her mother frowned when she saw Karina covered in garbage juices. She removed her pajamas and her mother placed it inside a trash bag to throw it away. There was no salvage in it. After scraping the ground for 1 hour, Karina succeeded in removing all of the garbage juices from her hair and body. She was a little peeved, but her mind was also filled with childlike wonder. Irina was the genuine article. "Man, I want to show you something," said Karina, leaving the shower. "If it is something you fetched from the garbage can, please keep it to yourself," said Una, shaking her head sadly. "Do you want pancake?" "Always," said Karina. "On second thought, no, I ate way too much last night." I polished up your resume while you slept," said Una. "We can start looking for a residency when you're ready." "Next month." "Mom, next month. I'm on vacation mode, and when you're in vacation mode, you speak about literally anything else," said Karina. Mother and Dad ranted a bit about the possible activities. Una wanted to linger a little longer, but unlike her big baby, she had work to do. Aboard, Karina finished her breakfast, and she saw the time and she decided to go upgrade her wardrobe. She looked through her contact list, and it was a Wednesday and everyone was at work or studying. The only person not doing anything in particular was Kain. Karina texted him to see what he was up to. "I am busy. My father exploded his computer," texted Kain. "How?" asked Karina. "With dynamite?" "His computer is infected by blaster worm," texted Kain. "It's going to take me a while to fix this mess." In the car dealership, Kain was struggling to repair the computer, and Kain protested. "Dad, what did you do?" "Were you looking at porn?" "I wouldn't even know where to look for that," said Jack meekly. I'm not computer literate." "Well, tell me step by step what happened before the computer started acting," said Kain, rubbing his temple. "I don't know what happened," said Jack meekly. "I was adding products to Craigslist just like you taught me, and when the computer started acting up, and then it got worse and worse till it exploded." "Blaster went this day to fully infect the computer," mused Kain. "The other PCs in this establishment are probably infected too." Sure enough, other co-workers started reporting that their computers were malfunctioning, and with Kain this busy, Karina decided to give Eugenia a call. Eugenia was a university student, and if she hadn't graduated yet, she was probably busy. Eugenia looked at the unfamiliar number, and her curiosity usually got the better of her. "Hey, Eugenia, it's me, Karina," said Karina. "Kain's girlfriend, nothing happened," said Eugenia. "It's fine, don't worry about it," said Karina. "Kain and we used to date in high school, but that is about it. And I was thinking that we could go on a double date, and I will take my new boyfriend, Bruno, and you can go out with Kain." "Where are we going exactly?" asked Eugenia. "I don't know yet. That is why I need you to help me brainstorm an activity," said Karina. Eugenia, after examining her busy schedule, agreed to go shopping with Karina, and she hoped to get Inter from the maid in order to make it easier to get into Kain's boxer. Kain was the first man that had been immune to Eugenia's supermodel body. The boy Eugenia was eager to try the sweet game known as seduction. She looked at her face with her compact mirror, and she frowned when she saw imaginary wrinkles. The two maidens rendezvoused in the Dolphin Mall, and the first stop was at Victoria's Secret. They picked out 20 different items, and then they went to share the same dressing room in order to critique each other's body while gossiping. "So who is Bruno?" asked Eugenia while removing her dress. "He is a friend of my cousin Rodrigo, and we met at my graduation party," said Karina. "Is he sexy?" asked Eugenia. "I wouldn't know," said Karina. "I haven't sealed the deal yet." "That's a shame," said Eugenia. "If it makes you feel better, your Kain is giving me the runabout. How did you get into his pants?" When I first had Kain, he was a sweet little virgin," said Karina, smiling at the happy memory. "I was more experienced in heartbreak and disappointment. My first boyfriend was a real jerk, and he cheated on me with practically every girl in the school. Kain is the only man who has ever been faithful to me." "You still love him?" said Eugenia, looking at her reflection, and she was trying to decide whether this red undergarment would work on Kain. "I still love that Kain. This Kain changed, and I do not know what happened. He never talks about what bothers him. He just bottles it up until he explodes." "Not violently?" asked Eugenia, worried. Nah, if there's one thing I like about Kain is that he barks, but he never bites. And even when he barks, he's very polite about it. Like that night he interrogated you, he gets like that. When he gets like that, I just stop talking to him until he calms down, said Karina, trying to squeeze into her pink undergarment. Does this lingerie make me look fat? Define fat, said Eugenia. There are different standards of beauty, and if I wanted someone to lie to me, I would have gone shopping with Kain, said Karina. I want an honest critique of my body. Does this ensemble make me look fat or not? Eugenia reached into her purse and she brought out her reading glasses. She pretended to examine Karina like one would do a fine piece of artwork. At the end of her careful examination, Eugenia came to this conclusion. The thin bra compresses your flesh too much and it gives the illusion that you have boobs on the back of your back. Thank you for the honest critique, said Karina, removing her bra to try on a different ensemble. So how was your first time with Virgin? Asked Eugenia, trying on a different lingerie. Said, I had never slept with a virgin before. What was it like to be the first of someone? Let me paint you the scene. I had just caught my boyfriend cheating on me, so I went home with Kain in order to soak, and with his help I removed from my room all the memories of my life I had tried to forge with the first man I had ever fallen in love with. I vented to Kain for hours about all my shattered hopes and dreams. I was wrapped inside his strong, muscular arms while he petted my hair lovingly, and then dramatized Karina while she passed her hand over her lips. He kissed you, said Eugenia, giggling. I kissed him, said Karina, sighing. Did he kiss you back? Asked Eugenia. No, he didn't, said Karina. That was the night I tainted a beautiful friendship. Eugenia was quiet while she digested everything Karina had said. Changing the subject, Eugenia said, have you ever been to Faena? Is it expensive? Asked Karina, worried. I'm a friend with one of the showgirls, said Eugenia, so we can sit up front for $80 a head. Showgirls? Asked Karina, worried. Hey, get your head out of the gutter, Karina, protested Eugenia, getting dressed in the street clothing. She set aside the lingerie she had liked. Faena is like the edgy version of Cirque du Soleil. It is a perfect marriage of artistry and eroticism. No need to oversell the place, said Karina. If anything, your double date seems like the most inspired idea. Where are we going? What were you going to suggest we go out together as a couple? Asked Eugenia. I was going to suggest we go roller skating, said Karina. Oh my God, I love roller skating, said Eugenia, laughing. Whenever I walk my dogs, I always like to do a little bit of roller skating. The shopping day passed peacefully, and Eugenia was naturally charismatic and not prone to hold grudges very long. She seamlessly integrated with Karina's other friends, and on Friday the maidens got together at the hair salon to gossip. The guys were already on board with the double date idea, and on Saturday Karina visited Kain to make certain he was wearing something nice for a change. When she drove up to the place, she was greeted by the sound of drumming and the electric guitar. Arjuna and Jack were having a jamming section in the back porch. Karina tested Kain in order to get him to open the door. Kain jogged back to the house. Are you having a party? Asked Karina. Nothing of the sort, said Kain, entering the house. My father was driving me crazy, so I told him that he could jam with his friends. When he plays his music, he completely forgets that I exist. How was he driving you crazy? Asked Karina. By paying me too much attention, said Kain. If I so much as sneeze, he was calling 911, and the way he babies me is irritating. He irritates me. He's probably trying to make up for last time, said Karina, smiling warmly. Now that he's cured of his addiction, he can finally be a father to you. He took too long to get cured of being a selfish asshole, said Kain, clenching his fist. And I'm an adult. I no longer need a father. Come on, Kain, don't be like that, said Karina. You have no idea how hard it is for a person to conquer an addiction. Withdrawal symptoms hurt, Kain. And do you remember how you felt after your accident? Do you remember the dizziness and the pain you felt in your lips? Well, imagine feeling that all the time. You didn't just come here to play devil's advocate, said Kain, trying to change the subject. I came to help you pick out clothing for a double date, said Karina, going to Kain's bedroom to look through his closet. Do you have a tuxedo? Just the one I wore for my grandpa's funeral, explained Kain, sitting down on the bed. Karina looked through Kain's closet, and she brought out a funeral tuxedo, and just looking at it made her feel depressed. She thought a moment, and then she came out with this idea. She was going to have Kain borrow one of Bruno's tuxedos. She went to the porch and she informed Jack that she was taking Kain. She got inside her car and her friend sat beside her, and she had been itching for an excuse to go see Bruno's living arrangements. Bruno did not disappoint. His small condo was a total pigsty. The entire living room was littered with fireboxes, and the only reason why there weren't dirty dishes was because Bruno survived on junk food he ordered out. Bruno led Karina to his bedroom, and the maiden frowned when she saw the cluttered mess was also present in the bedchamber. The apartment stunk of dust. Bruno opened the closet door, and there were his tuxes. They were religiously kept safe inside plastic bags. "Wow, you are really poor," said Karina thoughtlessly. "I never said I was rich," said Bruno nonchalantly. "Your family just assumed that I was rich because of my profession. This place may pale in comparison to your castle, but it is all mine." "My auntie's mansion isn't that big, and you can afford a big place when everyone works and lives together," said Karina. "It must be nice to have a big family you can rely on," said Bruno with a hint of envy in his voice. And he brought out a blue tux, and then he changed the subject. "Try this one on. This fits a little tight on me now, so it will be a perfect fit for you, Kain. And don't worry, the tux just came back from the dry cleaner." Kain undressed and he tried on the tux, and while he was busy as dust, Bruno opened his drawers to look for a tie that complemented Kain's gray eyes. Karina observed this proceeding with mild amusement, and she was relieved that Bruno had accepted her best friend. And in order to look busy, Karina tidied up Bruno's bedroom. And she then took out the vacuum from the closet and she got to work on the living room. "She only cleans when she gets nervous," translated Kain. "I figured as much," said Bruno, coming over with a tie. And once it was set just right, Bruno patted Kain's shoulder before saying, "You are all set. Karina, if you're done disorganizing my things, come on over and see if you like this tuxedo." Karina stopped cleaning for a second and she peeped her head out into the bedroom. Kain looked extremely handsome in his blue tuxedo. The silver ash tie complemented his eyes, and all that Kain was missing were the shoes. Bruno brought out a pair of shoes, and he took Kain's feet, and he frowned when he noticed that his shoes were too big for Kain. Kain decided to wear these funeral shoes. And with the problem of the wardrobe out of the way, all that remained was to wait until nightfall. For logistics' sake, all were going to ride with Eugenia. She lived in a beachfront property close to the Florida Keys, and it would be easy for her to pick up the others on her way to Miami Beach. The first person to get picked up was Bruno, and he lived the closest to Eugenia's house, and instead of driving herself, Eugenia had decided to dust off the family's limousine. And she dolled herself out with her war paint and her most expensive jewelry. And as part of her peacocking strategy, she wore a golden sequin dress that left very little to the imagination. During the ride to Kain's house, Bruno and Eugenia made small talk. Bruno did most of the talking, and he ranted about his work as a defense lawyer, and he gave the Persian impression of someone that cared about justice. Eugenia was impressed that Karina had managed to get herself such a handsome, eloquent double, and she began to wonder what was Karina's appeal. Her competition was short, chubby, and whenever there was a bit of humidity, Karina's hair went crazy. Eugenia went to cross her legs, and she waited to see if Bruno paid any attention to this action. Much to her surprise, the man maintained eye contact. "How old are you, Bruno?" asked Eugenia. "I am 32, like Bruno." His true age was 27. Bruno was flexible with his age, depending on who he spoke to. "Ah, that explains it," said Eugenia. "What does?" asked Bruno, pretending to be confused. "Nothing," said Eugenia. "We are already here. Go get Kain." Bruno walked out to Kain's house and he rang the bell. And when the door opened, a cadaver-looking of a man answered the door. Jack said, "Who are you?" "I am here for Kain," said Bruno. Jack looked at Bruno over the top and his face turned pale, and then he went to call up his son. Jack knocked on Kain's door and he said nervously, "El Che Guevara is looking for you, Kain." "Ah, it is almost time then," said Kain, leaving his bedroom. "Look at you, son. What a handsome devil. Here, let me fix this up for you," said Kain, smiling happily, seeing his son in the blue tux. Jack took a moment to refix his son's tie, and before Kain could flee from the situation, his father brought out a bit of hair gel from the bathroom, and then he styled his son's hair the way he liked. "I'm going to be late for my date," said Kain, moving away from his father. There's no food in the fridge, protested Jack. Yes, there is, said Kain. I don't know how to cook, said Jack, and I don't want to eat chips or cereal. Here's some money, said Kain, opening up his wallet to give his father a few $20 bills. And I have a few takeout menus in the pantry. See if there's anything you like there. How long are you going to be out? Asked Jack. I don't know. It depends on how the night goes, said Kain, running towards the front door. Wait, Kain, yelled Jack, running after his son. Take this camera and take lots of pictures. All right, Dad, said Kain, accepting the gift. Once Kain was out of the house, he breathed a sigh of relief. Bruno opened the door for Kain to help him enter the limousine, and Jack saw the thing, and after putting all of the clues together, he came to the conclusion that his son Kain had come out of the closet. And he called up Ken to tell his brother what he had seen. Ken didn't want to jump to conclusions, but the signs were there. Jack called his sponsor Ayura, and the guide also agreed, and the gossip was picked up against White Stacy, and it circulated among others within her social circle. Kate sat down beside Eugenia, completely indifferent to his beauty, and his last interaction with his father had left them extremely irritable. Eugenia brought out a club soda, and she placed it against Kane's face to get his attention. The cold brought him back to the present, and he turned to look at Eugenia, and he blushed when he saw the getup she was sporting. Eugenia liked this reaction, and she laughed with glee at her success. Kane's sudden infatuation with Eugenia immediately died when he heard her laughter. The woman laughed the same as his mother, and Kain started to remember how his mother used to give him NyQuil to make him fall asleep, and she would do so whenever she wanted to leave the house to go party with her friends. And what's the matter? Asked Eugenia, placing her hand on Kane's knee. Nothing, it's just your laughter is the same as my mother, said Kain bitterly. Ah, you poor guy, said Eugenia, hugging Kain. Dear, there, feel better? A little, said Kain, smiling shyly. He accepted the cold soda that Eugenia had offered, and he opened the can and he gulped down the bubbly drink. There was an the awkward silence lasted until Karina was picked up, and the manic Pixie entered the limousine, bringing her joy and merriment. And she handed her mixtape to the driver, and then the speakers began to blast at full volume the lines, Suavemente, besame. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times that song was played in the early 2000s. You will close your eyes and that will be all you hear. Bruno, taking the hand, embraced Karina and his lover her face with kisses, and with her arrival Kane's melancholy immediately dissipated. With Karina there, everything was alright in his world. Kane brought out a camera from his coat pocket and he took photos of everyone having fun, and the good vibrations carried them all the way to find a theater. They left the limousine and they walked through the entrance of the hotel, and thanks to the traffic they only had 20 minutes to look around. Outside in the pool area there was a golden mammoth, and Karina lingered a little looking at the creative artwork. And Kane brought out his camera and he took a photo of Karina and Bruno. And Bruno placed his hands around Karina's waist, and the maiden was sporting a green, drab and colored grass satin dress, the same hue as Bruno's eyes. And she wore her hair naturally curly with her body punctuated by golden accessories. Bruno's style was a stoic wine-colored ensemble. We better get going, said Karina, looking at her watch. Eugenia walked ahead, leading the way, and the interior of the theater had a cozy cabaret feel with a small stage with the red curtains. The party sat on a round table that faced the stage. Bruno pushed a chair for Karina while Kain sat down, not bothering to be chivalrous to his date. Eugenia was not used to this polite indifference, and she thought of Kain's dead mother, and she figured that he was probably still moody because of the stiff. The menu came, and Bruno frowned when he noticed that all of the meal cost them more than $20, and Eugenia ordered a little bit of everything for her date, and she owed Kain that much. I'm a bit of a lightweight, said Kain, looking at the drinks. What do you recommend? Bruno asked, do you like sweet drinks or do you like the taste of alcohol? I'd rather taste it as little as possible, said Kain. For you, my friend, I recommend, said Bruno, browsing the menu, the Caribou Blue. Ooh, that sounds sexy, giggled Eugenia. And what do you recommend for me, Bruno? I, for one, fancy the taste of lemon in my drinks. Then order a course reviver, said Bruno. And for my little lady, I suggest a Havana Beach, and I will order a strawberry coconut daiquiri. Bruno had chosen strong drinks for Kain and Eugenia, and for himself and Karina he had chosen light drinks. And how do you know so much about drinks? Asked Karina. I learned all about them from my father, said Bruno. Was he a bartender? Asked Karina. He was an alcoholic, said Bruno, and he complimented that truth with a lie. He died in a car accident. Do you miss him? Asked Karina. No, said Bruno dryly. Why would I? He's an alcoholic. The topic died when the curtain rose, and the thing was Midsummer Night's Dream. And Titania entered the scene in a dress covered with stylized flowers. Titania was the main singer who represented all of the acts, and for 2 hours the friends forgot about their personal baggage, and they enjoyed the music, the show, the food and drinks, and just like Bruno had planned, Kain and Eugenia got really drunk. With both of them uninhibited and happy, they became quite boisterous and loud. Eugenia got on stage and she danced about with the other chorus maidens, and at a certain point she tripped due to her ridiculously high heels, and Bruno caught her before she splattered against the floor. Eugenia giggled and she returned to her seat, and Kain had become quite a shutterbug, and he took plenty of photos to use as reference for his drawings. Stop playing with the camera and watch the show, protested Karina. Let the kid have his fun, said Bruno, placing his hand on Karina's knee. And the show came to an end, and Eugenia paid for everything. And just like Bruno had planned, the party wobbled over to the front of the hotel to wait for the limousine to pick them up. Karina looked at the time and she said, It's only 10. Let's go do something else. Let's go swimming, suggested Eugenia. Let's not, said Karina, remembering her dream. Ah, come on, Karina. Stop being such a party pooper, protested Kain, shaking Karina by the shoulder. I want to go swimming too. They traveled to the beach near Manolo restaurant, and in the darkness the four of them tiptoed towards the seashores, and due to the dirt of the beaches didn't have any lights at night, and even the moon didn't provide any light. Karina looked up at the sky, and she saw that it was almost new moon. Kain and Eugenia undressed, and the two went for a night dunking, and the cold water helped them sober up a bit, and with both of their bodies locked in an embrace, Kain and Eugenia finally shared a kiss. Karina looked at the pair with a hint of envy in her eyes. That's the end of that chapter. Bye-bye.